Earth Space Union's Alien Asset Files, Number 1. Private Capal. Loading Rowboat Reunion.txt.
Mikri ensnared me in a hug as soon as he detected movement, which I happily returned. The robot returned to brooding and staring over the railing, almost as if he was avoiding Preston and Sophia for some reason. The duo was still being debriefed by the Earth Space Union, and getting looked over by scientists for multiple reasons. For starters, they were patient zero for testing how their species reacted to nanobots, and also for how a reanimated human body and mind functioned after brain transplants. It was all new ground, and there was a lot of work to do before rolling out that technology to the masses.
The network did not support Fikre's efforts, but they also made no attempt to stop it,
Mikri beeped in a forlorn voice.
I am sorry, Capal.
I patted him on his metal arm. Hey, it's okay. It's not your fault. The humans will hold Fikre to justice, and surely the network is at least sorry for leaving a bad impression with their representative. It'll all work out.
Maybe. The network is 76% against allowing Fikre to be tried and punished by human laws. There are some who think that it did nothing wrong.
Is that what's troubling you? That your people don't care like you do?
The android snapped his head toward me before shaking it emphatically.
No, I do not expect more from them. They hate and see little value in organics, none more so than you. I was hoping you could offer me guidance like Sophia does on a personal matter.
Mikri, I'm honored that you trust me, and I'd be happy to help, but why won't you ask Sophia? She always knows exactly how to steer you right.
You have given me advice before, like when you urged me to respect their wishes. I have quantified this imparted lesson as good. You are a suitable candidate, since I do not want Preston and Sophia to adjust their behaviors over my problems. They have much bigger concerns than my processor. They are facing grueling trials. I do not wish to bother them or add to their troubles.
You would never be troubling them by asking for mutual support. I know for a fact that whatever this is, they'd want to help, no matter what they're going through, I assured the machine. They love and care for you deeply.
But it is a stupid problem. It is something that organics understand intuitively.
I'm sure it'll be simple enough to solve then. You're not an organic, and that's okay. You can talk to me if that's truly your preference. I'll listen, and I promise, no judgment.
Mikri whirred with pent-up frustration. I do not know how to be alone.
Oh, buddy, you're not alone. We're all here for you.
That is not what I meant. I mean alone in my head.
What? Mikri, that isn't something organics understand intuitively at all. Many of us battle with our own thoughts every day, and it can be difficult to live with. I comforted the robot, looking at him with concern. You should never be ashamed to open up about mental health. It's your friends who can help you right yourself. You might be alone in your head, but you're not alone in the fight. The inorganic Vaskar sulked.
You do not understand. This is different. The reason why I struggle is not chemicals, or even an emotional imbalance.
Okay, then make me understand. Explain the way Sophia explains human things to you.
Well, it is quiet in my head when it is just my own thoughts, compared to what I have been used to as a baseline my whole life. The network was always there providing constant chatter and feedback. I know I should be happy to be away from them with how they are, but it makes me feel very isolated.
Oh, I see. You were never without them for a single second, and that silence is deafening to you now. You could have asked for help coping with that. I'm sure Preston and Sophia would have cut your trip to Earth short if you asked.
It was fine for a short, certain duration, in an instance where we were having fun. I did not mind focusing the entirety of my energy on my friends. I ran simulations and calculations and was even happy. However, in the stressful months since Karai found us, I have not returned to Keelam until now. I miss the network very much, if only to have someone besides myself to query.
That's been a drastic adjustment for you. You absolutely could have expressed this to Preston and Sophia, and they would have been supportive.
Mikri folded his arms. They have done so much for me, and as Sophia has told me a few times, they simply cannot handle stresses and unreliable behavior right now. I would rather hurt myself than hurt them. And what can they do to help that they do not do already by being present? In a way, I am happy that we can message mentally now through the nanobots, since the communication feels familiar. However, I still must tone it down. Why? We all love you for who you are. The android frowned and projected a crying expression onto his LED display. Because if I message you at the rate that I am accustomed to, you will be unable to keep up, and annoyed. Only because organics are physically incapable of processing information at the speeds and quantities computers do. You're right, we can't keep up or replace the network. With that said, it's not stupid at all. We can relate to how hard it can be to be alone, and to be separated from those we care about. We can relate to the silence in our heads consuming us. But you deal with it. You have to. How? Please tell me. Preferably through an instruction manual. Unfortunately, how to cope with emotions varies day to day, and how each person processes them is different. There's no guide, I explained. We both know what it's like not to fit in with our own people, but to feel responsible for them, like a part of yourself is always with them. Give me some solution, please. What would you do? Maybe you can find a way to pretend the network is there with you, and to derive peace from the memories of their presence. You're good at simulations, so I'm sure that's even more intuitive to you than us. Take back control of your calculation matrix. Then, and only then, can you reconcile the part of you that's shaped by them with the part of you that's here now? Mikri emitted a thoughtful whir and nodded several times as he processed my advice. Thank you, Kapal. I will try imagining their responses. Would you care for company? To demonstrate my gratitude for your assistance, I wish to aid you in catching up on recent deployments. Knowing you, I predict you will desire more data on the Fakra before working for them. I could use some backup to approach Marshal Velke. If he tries anything, you kick his ass, right? Jambalaya. I do not understand what that means. You will. The android gave a whir that sounded suspiciously like a chainsaw revving, then offered a human-style thumbs up. He wore a devilish smile, which I took as an indicator to start walking toward the room that Fakra guards were stationed outside. This was likely where we'd find Velke. I hoped my advice was able to help Mikri a little, though I hated seeing him unwilling to burden his friends with his current struggles. Sophia and Preston would be more than understanding, and they deserved the chance to decide where their priorities fell. It was noble to place others' problems above his own, but also an extremely self-destructive tendency, taken to the extreme. Didn't Mikri hear Sophia's lesson with how humans bottled up feelings and exploded because they felt ashamed to be vulnerable? I remember him telling me about it. Preston got angry at him one time after therapy. The android should take care not to make the same mistake. Halt! No one passes to see the Marshal without prior authorization. A guard spat. But I am a robot, Mikri countered. Checkmate. I gave the android a bewildered look. That's not even an argument. Yes, it is, because robots cannot be stopped. It never ends well for the people who try to. Right, creator? Oh, totally. You guys really butchered my people. Schools, hospitals, daycares. Old ladies who walk too slow. Dudes who sat right in the middle of park benches. A based purge. And I'll do it again. The Fakra guard huffed. If you go after people who sit in the middle of park benches, I'll applaud your efforts, but you can't go through to see the Marshal. Okay, may I? Hey, take the grammar lessons and shove them. Mikri! Came a chirpy voice from inside the room, sounding healthier than ever. No one is shiny and fat like you. They're less fun to peck. Come say hi. Velke poked his head out around the wall, revealing that Hiri was standing atop his blocky skull. Let them in. The humans value that scientist greatly, but I must see if he can be trusted before I permit their plan. A conversation will reveal a lot about who we're working with. Yeah, we need to talk, I growled, storming past the guards as they parted to grant us entry. Forcing the humans, innocent bystanders and experiments themselves, to serve you or be wiped out? You should be ashamed. I won't be coerced by some power-hungry sleazebag again. Are you like Jackoff? The human pirate who wanted to rule over others, for his own conceited ambition? Velke was silent for a long moment, when I signaled agreement, displeased by the accusation. No, I would say I'm like Mikri.
The android beamed. Oh, so you dip your underwear in pizza sauce and spoon Preston?
I am not like you in that way. I meant that our creators discarded and despised us, and we seek justice for what was done to us. Vengeance is a necessity for crimes of their proportions. I do this for the billions upon billions of Fakra who have suffered the consequences of their cruel indifference. I couldn't care less about enhancing my own power, Kapal. This is about righting a terrible wrong before they destroy their next defenseless victim.
You act out of hatred, I stated.
Velke narrowed his eyes. Yes, justified hatred. Don't feed me a line about reconciliation and releasing grudges. They haven't changed one iota. They are unapologetic and without any defense for their actions. Complicit, every last one of them.
And killing them all will make you better?
Perhaps not, but it will make them sorry. That's enough. We must remember that their attitudes can never be acceptable. That's why the Fakra have chosen to care about Keelam, where they don't. You know they wouldn't be bothered to rescue Jorlan from Jakov, right?
I swallowed, remembering how Karai described us as playthings for the humans in their minds. I'm aware. Their attitude is fucked.
I'm not saying there are any good guys, Kapal, but I think you know who's worse. The Fakra have waited a long time for this, and I won't let my people down. That said, I plan to accompany humanity to liberate Jorlan, and to take an active interest in befriending your people. You deserve equal treatment. You will have that with me.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Do not thank me for what should be given by default. That which your peers did not provide to Mikri's people, might I add.
I'm not given equal treatment either, Hiri cawed, waggling his little wings in protest. Why'd you all get guns and I don't?
Mikri's eyes turned red. Because I maxed out my violence stat. Pew pew organics.
Pew pew yourself, smelly tin can.
Velke raised all four arms. I vote that none of you touch firearms again for the remainder of your existence. I've seen gusts of air more stable than you lot. The inorganic Vaskar creaked open the patched-up plate on his stomach, revealing multiple firearms. Mine. Can't touch this.
Why'd you have those? I protested. A stomach armory?
It seemed useful on Swam. I used myself as a purse. The Fakra leader palmed his face. Robot, I will regret seeking your help, but would you join me in our mission to Jorlan? I'd like to know immediately if your network will help build that weapon.
Okay. I'll ready the pizza sauce.
How wonderful. Begone.
Mikri bounced out of the room, dragging me by the paw with a cheeky smile on his face. I burst out laughing as soon as we were out of hearing range, debating whether to help the robot legitimately procure some pizza sauce for his journey. While I didn't care much for Velke's motivations, he didn't seem all bad. Playing with Hiri did wonders for his image. After talking to both him and Karai, the Marshal had a point. The Aleutians were the greater evil. For the sake of humanity's continued survival, that conversation had all but assured that I would aid them in building this mystery weapon. I hoped Mikri could convince his network to give me some proper backup this time around.